We always make the assumption when we're doing these deal structure videos that you understand exactly what we're talking about with the vernacular when we say AO or sandwich or OF or owner financing. So I don't want to make that assumption. I want to back up a little bit. Even though there's about 150 of these deals out there that you can watch, I want to back up a little bit and kind of talk about the niche really just a little bit, and then talk about each one of the deals on a high 10,000 foot level. And if you want to dig deeper, I'll give you a resource that you can come to for free. There is a major increase right now in the popularity, demand for, need for the terms deals, creative real estate, if you will. So before I talk about each one, little history. Recently, I was in the Vanderbilt story book that I think Anderson Cooper wrote about his mother and the whole family. And he was talking about in New York City in the 1600s, I didn't realize it went back this far, before banking, they were doing lease purchase. They called it master lease purchase in the book, in owner financing. Imagine that. So this is not new stuff. What we've done as a company is we've put a model in place. We've trademarked the 3 paydays. We've added some interactive coaching. We've added a vehicle that helps you be successful. So just as a little backdrop, I'd ask you to think about if you ever have heard stories about people getting ahead of the wave, so to speak, in real estate. In any business, you could say that, high tech, etc. But I'm talking about real estate. Last weekend, just as an example, Kim and I, my wife and I, were walking. We live between 2 beaches, and we were walking to what they call Second Beach. And we took a breather up on a bench overlooking the beach. Gorgeous sight. All year round, even in the winter. This was a particular warm weekend. And there was about 30 or so surfers on their boards out in the water. But it happens to be right in your line of sight when you're sitting on this bench looking down. Really cool. And I thought as I saw people 5 or 6 out of the 30 at a time taking the wave and the rest sitting there, I thought, man, that's such a close analogy with real estate. Why? Well, I'm thinking, okay, wait a minute. You got 5 people, let's use 30 and 5. It was about that. You got 5 people that took that wave, and they're juiced. They're excited. They're beaming because they took the wave and the success that they had until they landed. And you got the 25 or so, 20, whatever it is, sitting back on their boards, looking around, thinking, shit, I missed the wave. Or I'll just wait for the next one. Yeah, there'll be another one. And so-and-so was lucky he caught that, or they paddled fast, or whatever. All these things that go through their mind, and all they had to do was decide to take the wave. And they would have had an amazing experience. It's the same thing in real estate. There'll be people, some of you, will take the wave. You'll look at what we're doing and go, yeah, Chris was right. This stuff is super popular with the market heading where it's headed right now, and I'm going to take it. And there'll be others that don't. And they'll be waiting for the next wave. They'll be waiting for the next market to change. I have friends that have been waiting 7 years for the market to change. Ridiculous. Take the wave. You'll have an amazing experience. Here's what you can do when you take the wave. The different types of deals. Very briefly. And for more information, let me give you the resource now. Come to our Wicked Smart Sit Down. We run them every week. You can really start to immerse yourself in the culture and see the students that are having success and listen to the Q&A. And you just come on Zoom. It's free. 4 o'clock every Thursday, Eastern Standard Time. Go to smartrealestatecoach.com/events. Here's what you hear us talking about. We talk about sandwich leases. Sandwich leases are nothing more than a lease purchase for you as the investor tying up a property with a seller, no deed transfers, and usually you have a $10 deposit built into the agreement if you're using our agreements. They're free for you when you're in our academy. Then you have on the other end a buyer that you locate who needs time, very popular right now as the rates are going crazy and pushing people out of mortgage eligibility, and you're in the middle. That's the sandwich lease. A lease purchase tying up a home with the seller, a rent-to-own lease purchase with the buyer, and you in the middle. You secure your interest so you're not just acting in any service fashion like a realtor. You secure your interest as an investor, and we teach you how to do that. That's a sandwich lease. That's the lease purchase agreement connection. By the way, you can't do those in one state right now. That's Texas. And that's okay because we also have what's called owner financing. Owner financing for us, we niche down even more so than you'll find if you just Google owner financing. We look for owners who are free and clear. They don't have a mortgage. Maybe a surprise to you that 1/3 of the properties in the United States are free and clear. 1/3. Great people to talk to. Usually not on the market. usually don't need their money right away. So what they end up becoming is the bank. So you pay them instead of paying a bank, and we usually structure it where you're paying them principal-only payments. How cool is that? If you come to one of the sit-downs, you're going to pick up formulas for these to figure out how to identify these types of deals, how to speak to the seller, and then how to identify getting yourself to, or structure yourself getting to 6 figures on some of these 3 payday deals. So that's the sandwich lease, great for a new person. That's the owner financing, where you can look for free and clear properties. And then there's what's called a sub-2 deal. Sub-2, if you hear that language or see that on videos, not just ours, but out in the real estate world, because that also has been done for hundreds of years, it just means you're purchasing a property subject to the existing loan staying in place and in the owner's name. Example. And by the way, this type of deal usually comes when someone's stressed out financially, so they just want to give up the house, versus the owner financing deal where they're 100% okay, they're debt free. So we deal with all different types of sellers. The sub-2 deal might look like something like this. The seller's behind, they need immediate debt relief, perhaps coming out of COVID with some forbearance agreements that are due. This is very prevalent now. And they say, I just can't do it anymore. Take my house. We purchased a home just like we normally would, just like you'd go buy your home if you've ever bought your own home for yourself or your family. Instead of a new mortgage coming to the table, however, on your settlement statement, it just says subject to existing loan. That loan stays in place. The deed transfers to you. You own the property. The seller's name still stays on as a guarantor on that loan. The loan does not change. You make payments on said loan for the seller, on behalf of the seller, but you own the property. So you have a little glimpse of sandwich lease purchase. You have a little glimpse of owner financing and a little glimpse of sub-2, or at least you know enough to know that what those mean now when you hear us going on and on and on about the deals. So I invite you again to just hang out with us for free for 50 minutes every week at 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time at our Wicked Smart Sit Down. Go to smartrealestatecoach.com/events.